This is Nick with Build Brothers Roofing. Started my inspection at 7646 Flanders Drive. Whenever we start inspections, we like to start underneath the eave of the home. So for this particular home, you have your fascia board. That's your shadow board, which kind of acts as a drip edge. I'm going to show the problem with that. We have our rafter tails, and then we have our plywood eaves. There's a good amount of wood repair that's going to need to be done on this property. You can see a lot of the fascia board is rotted. There's a lot of termite damage that you'll notice throughout the eaves as well. But I want to point out, a huge problem area that I noticed when I walked up to the home. I talked about that shadow board, and we can see that we have a tile that's fallen through this rotted section of the roof. You can see how rotted out this whole area is. And I'll show you what's happening right here. So this tile, the weight of this tile fell completely through this eave of the house. And what's happening is all the water is accumulating behind this section. So this shadow board blocks a lot of water in. And so that water just ends up sitting over time. And as that water sits, obviously it causes an immense amount of damage. So there definitely will be a good amount of wood repair on this property. So that is something that the homeowner needs to be aware of. This is a concrete S-tile roof. The concrete tile is in pretty good shape. I don't see a whole lot of issue with the product itself. Concrete typically gets stronger as it ages, so we can go ahead and do a lift and reset on this property. But I want to point out what the overall condition of the roof is, just so that the new homeowners know what they're getting into. We've had some repairs done. You can see they've replaced some of these mortar caps, some of this mortar flashing as well. Mortar flashing is an old school way of waterproofing these penetrations. We're going to get rid of all that. But you can see how all that ridge board has been exposed for quite some time. That mortar cap isn't really doing anything at this point. Same thing over here. You can see how this ridge board's been exposed and how this underlayment has just been baking in the sun. And at this point, it's completely disintegrating. Looks like this was an addition that was added to the home, but this underlayment is still in the same shape. So we can see how worn out this underlayment is. This stuff is super fuzzy. It's really brittle. This stuff is literally just kind of crumbling in my fingertips. So fresh underlayment is going to be very, very thick, very coarse, very granular and gritty to the touch. This product is none of that. You can see how the penetrations that were not sealed with mortar, the sealant is starting to wear away. Anytime it rains, water and moisture is going to be getting into those penetrations. Again, I lifted another tile just to show the homeowners what the condition of the underlayment is in. And again, we can see just how brittle this stuff is. I mean, this stuff literally is just crumbling in my fingertips. So these are all telltale signs that the product definitely needs to be replaced. I'd imagine that the roof on this home is close to 35 years old, just based off the condition of it. We have a bunch of solar panels on this roof. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we got 33 solar panels on this roof. The homeowner talked to me earlier and said they would like to not redo this section of the roof because they don't want to mess with this new system. This is not a new system that is on the roof. And this section of the roof is just as bad as all the other ones. So you can see how old this underlayment is. Again, it is in the same condition as all the other stuff. Underlayment should not be that brittle. So what my suggestion would be is to obviously redo this roof. We can do a lift and reset. We're going to lift all these tiles up. We do all of our solar installs in-house. We're going to lift all the tiles up with it as well. We're going to stack these tiles along the roof itself. Once that is done, we're going to address all the bad wood that is on this property. Again, there will be a good amount of wood repair that this homeowner needs to be aware of. We're not going to know how much is going to need to be replaced until we tear it all off. Once all that is gone, all the wood is replaced, we're going to go ahead and add either 2 layers of UDL 40 underlayment on this property, or we can go ahead and use an upgraded product, which would be our titanium peel and stick, which is a synthetic self-adhesive product. Once that is all complete, new drip edge will go along the entire perimeter of the roof. We'll add new mortar caps to all the necessary areas. We're going to reflash all the penetrations as well. We're going to get rid of all that old school mortar flashing like we see here. And we're going to flash all these penetrations properly. Once all that is complete, then the tile goes right back on top. Now, some of these tiles are going to need to be replaced because these tiles are going to break or they're already broken. Those tiles aren't going to match perfectly, so we'll try to put those tiles in the back in non-conspicuous areas where you're not going to notice them. But again, this is an old dirty tile that's already on here. So the homeowner just needs to be aware that the tile won't match perfectly, but we'll do our best to get it to. Obviously we have more cracked tiles over here. I can just go ahead and put this tile down, and again, you can see how worn this underlayment is. So yes, in my professional opinion, this roof does need to be replaced. We can go with a lift and reset on this, and I am going to highly suggest that we also replace this section as well in order to ensure the proper waterproofing. And then the new tile goes right back on top with that lift and reset. Or if the homeowner would like, we can always upgrade to a new tile roof. Not completely necessary, but I'll go ahead and show them both options. That is it for my inspection.